Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia, and welcome to Complex PTSD TV. My name's Linda. I'm your certified trauma recovery coach and counsellor. And today we're going to look at some of the key areas we need to address when our mum hasn't loved us. And that can be a really challenging thing to recognise, especially if our dad was absent or toxic. It's hard to want to go to and do the work around the fact that mum didn't love us, okay? So you're not alone. We're all in this together. Remember that we take this one step at a time. So I'm just going to pull up the infographic. Now, the infographic for this, because we all have such amazingly short memories, let me just fix this up for you. No, that's not going to do it. Okay, so we'll just take that out because it's a bit big. All right, so the infographic today is found in the free Complex PTSD library, and I will pop the link down below for you. It's chock full of practical tools. So videos, ebooks, printouts. So this type of thing, the infographic you can print out, take it to your trauma coach, to your therapist, to whoever you're working with to do your recovery, and say, I want to work on this aspect of my recovery. So remember that complex trauma, it happened in the context of with a person, another adult usually with us, and so we need to do the recovery work with a trauma specialist, so somebody who actually understands complex trauma or can help you with structure and strategy to come through the complex trauma. Okay, so today we're going to look at the adult wounds that we need to recognize and heal because our mum didn't love us. Now, it's a really tough call to want to recognise that. It's taken me a long time to even try to wrap my mind around it because I've had so many other things to heal from. Now, that does cause and can cause an abandonment wound. The abandonment wound, all the information you need for that is in the abandonment recovery course, which is in the academy. I'll put that link down below. I don't push my work because when you're ready to do the work, you're ready. No one can say, you go and do this and it'll have this benefit. There's a fire inside of us that says, I'm not as well as I can be. This is not my life. This is not how I want to live. And that fire that ignites inside of us says, right, what's my one next step? So in the academy, you can look through things, be aware that they're there, and you will come and do them when you're ready to take you one next step into recovery. So the wounds that we need to look at in our adult life because mum didn't love us, which is still really hard to say and to look at change. We have no framework for loyalty. This absolutely blew me away when I realised this. So most of you know I have the Facebook group. A few months ago we put on new admins, and throughout this time of developing new relationships there have been several things that have happened, and they've shown me a great deal of loyalty in how they're managing their new roles because they all do the courses in the academy. And I sat back the other day or last week and went, wow, this is loyalty. These are people who are showing up day in and day out and believe in this work and believe in doing the work. And this whole sense of loyalty from a whole bunch of people, so not just individuals, a whole bunch of people, really made me realise that on an emotional level, if our mum's not loyal to us, our mum doesn't support us, doesn't cheer us, doesn't equip us emotionally, and so much more, we actually have no roadmap in our brain of what loyalty looks like, and so we need to do some healing in that area. The next thing that happens is we look for love in all the wrong places. All right. So when there's no loyalty, we don't know how to look for love in the right places, because when the wrong place shows up, we can identify it. So because we can't identify it, because we've never had loyalty or had that experiential time and place of all the experiences that come with loyalty, we don't actually know we're missing it. And that just, when I realised that the other day, I was like, oh my goodness, that is mind-blowing, that we actually have to have the experience of what loyalty is so that we stop looking for love in all the wrong places. And it's not that we do it intentionally either. It's something that happens due to what happened in childhood, and we don't know about it. We don't have the language for it, and we don't know how to identify it, and so on. When mum doesn't love us, we love without boundaries. Because it's our mum is the one who puts boundaries in place for us, who says what's right, what's wrong, what's healthy, what's functional, what she will and won't accept about how she will and won't be treated. When our mum doesn't love us, she doesn't care. So there are no boundaries in place, okay? So we need to be willing and to be able to look at our boundaries, and that's a whole other video, as we know. But there are some videos on boundaries to get you started. We people please, and this can be a very unconscious thing that we people please until we bring it into our conscious awareness. We people please because it's a scary thought as a kid that we're not loved, or even as a baby. So remember, as a baby, our language is emotional. It's all emotional, all the information we take in. When there's no emotional connection from our mum, then how are we going to know that we people please because we're looking for love? All right? Unless we have language around it. So we're not people pleasers because we want to run around people pleasing. It's all that we knew in our childhood to do to try and get some love. And all of a sudden the light bulb goes on. So as an adult, when we're going to start dealing with that, we have to be willing to say, hang on, I'm an adult now, and this relationship is not a two-way street. All right? There's no caring on a two-way street. So we have to be willing to either sit down and have raw and real conversations and say, listen, we need to reevaluate our relationship because this is what I'm seeing happening. Or we need to do our inner work so that we're strong enough from our core self to say, no, this is not right how I'm being treated. Okay? And it's really hard to do. I promise you it's really hard to do, to break not just habits, but break the neurobiology of it all, but we can do it. That's the thing, we can do it. It's hard, but we can do it. And another thing that we do is we disconnect, all right? So when things come along that are hurtful, we don't know how to manage them because we haven't been taught, all right? So then rather than saying, this is a bad situation, I'm really hurt, I'm wounded. So think of divorce, all right? As an adult, that is so painful, incredibly painful. And rather than saying, I'm wounded, but I can learn how to manage this step by step, we disconnect saying, I can function on my own, I'm okay, I'm not lonely. And when we're doing things like that, we're actually denying very core needs within us that are wired into us, I like to say, where we as humans need connection. Right? We need connection to thrive, to feel whole and happy. People don't make us whole and happy. When we're whole and happy and we have connection, it's just like the icing on the cake of life. Okay? So if you want to know if you're disconnecting at the moment, is your story to yourself, I'm okay without interacting with anybody else? There's variances around that, but that's the bottom line. Am I telling myself I'm okay by not going out and interacting with other people? Now, I'm an introvert. I don't have to go out and interact with bunches of people, but I do need to be aware if I'm saying that and I'm closing my heart off, and I do need to make the effort to go and know safe people, and I do need to make the effort to go out and at least have coffee with friends. We've got to be willing to make this effort as well. Okay, remember to like and subscribe, hit comments, let me know how this impacts you and what's your one key area that you need to look at from today onwards. Remember, this infographic's in the free library, and take it to your trauma coach, take it to your therapist and say, right, this is the area I want to work on. I want structure, I want strategy, and I want to know what it is I don't know so that I can identify it inside of myself and do the work. Okay, have a great day, and it's bye from me.